tuning in today. So I got this video I pulled from a streamer named Mr. Is there Mr. Wishy or Mr. Wish? One of the two. I found him on Twitch today. He's currently in gold, or probably almost plat by now. I think he finished today off at 2450 or so. You had a good day. Anyway, I wanted to have a look at, because you were mentioned at one point during your stream today that you went on a big losing streak. Your SR dipped. I noticed your, I think it was your season high and your career high was right about 2400 or so, and that you had been about 2200 when I first started watching you today. Obviously, you climbed back up. You had a great day. So I had, in order to find a video to review for you, I had to pick through one of your older streams. This is from your Sunday Fun Day one, just to find a loss on a character I knew how to coach when your loss is on Torb. I don't know anything about Torb, so I'm just gonna pass on that. But anyway, so we have this video here on Nepal Village. It's a very close loss. Haven't given a whole lot of review, so we're just gonna jump into it and see how this goes. Oh, let me get my pen out of here. I'm sorry. So we'll see how our picks go. We have a Genji, we have a Brigitte, we have a Reinhardt, we have a Torbjorn. You, of course, are on Moira, and who's your sixth?
I like
Roadhog.
Hey, nice.
Let's have a look at this comp again here. I skipped back too far. We remember, so we had a Brigitte and we had a Roadhog. So you're going to have quite a bit of brawling potential and point presence with your Reinhardt, Brigitte, and Roadhog, and you. Torbjorn and Genji are going to be a little, well, not necessarily for Torbjorn, as long as he has his turret set in a decent place. Like I just said, I don't know a whole lot about Torbjorn, even since before or post rework. I really don't know a whole lot about the character. We'll just see how it goes. And Genji, of course, if he plays close to the point that will get some benefit, some healing benefit from you in the Brigitte.
Just an American idiot, actually.
Me too, pal.
Got an endorsement right there. Alright, I'm behind you, Diva. Ryan, you're kind of alone, but you got this. I'm coming with you. We're gonna stay over here on the point. I'm with you, Ryan.
Hammond 1.
So far, you're down a couple. Looks like Genji got a couple kills, though, so you're trading back and forth. I'm sorry, you're not down a couple. You lost your Diva mech, and you lost Diva in this hurt, of course, but otherwise, you're up in this fight. Just Genji.
Good cat.
So far, so good. They should be peeling.
She's only useless if you're really, really not GM. If you're not GM, she's useless.
Yeah, her aim needs to be on. You have to have that smooth, like butter aim. Doomfist is on the right.
Stay on the right side. The turret will turn him around.
I like this call. It's good information.
Gotcha. I won't focus.
Mind, they're taking it out. Doom low.
Oh shit, sorry. Try to get you in time.
Who just lose there? We lost Tracer, of course. Did we lose somebody else?
She's only useless if you're really, really not GM. If you're not GM, she's useless.
Yeah, her aim needs to be on. You have to have that smooth, like butter aim. Doomfist is on the right.
Stay on the right side. The turret will turn him around.
So even with that call, I would just avoid chasing that Doomfist down. You already know where he is, but your teammate isn't too. Your team in general isn't too interested in pursuing him, and I would just keep the same.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't bother going out of your way for him.
Mind, they're taking it out.
So your turret went down. Okay, you didn't lose somebody else yet.
Doom low.
Oh shit, sorry.
Your Tracer just destroys that Torbjorn.
Try to get you in time.
So you are a 5-on-6 now.
Healing orb about to go down on point.
Your bomb misses. So you're 4-on-5.
I got schwacked.
I'll have my
And you got schmacked. I'm cutting this, of course. You're getting pretty spread out here. I think it's definitely a problem. I feel like you and Brigitte are feeling pretty confident about choking up, but your Reinhardt, on the other hand, isn't. Torbjorn did lose his turret, so he's without it, but he's kind of alone in his back line. This isn't necessarily your fault, but I would definitely would not put you and the Brigitte in the front line up against whatever's coming to the door, especially if your tank doesn't feel like coming through with you.
Smooth like butter aim. Doomfist is on the right.
Then you get split off here, kind of.
Gotcha.
You retreat back to the point.
I won't focus.
I think your team has a whoops, it's frozen.
Doom low.
So Trevor's that place doesn't have the
Oh
cross.
shit.
Let's
Sorry.
move on from
Try to
that.
get you in time.
There's no, I don't think there's any way you're going to save that Torb, especially with the Tracer zipping in so quickly.
Healing orb about to go
Definitely a good pick for
down
her.
point.
Diva's behind you, David.
So Bree gets broken off. Diva gets broken off.
I got schwacked.
Reinhardt just dropped his ult.
I'll have my ult when I come in.
Brigitte was a nice little add to their team. Yeah, we don't want to go the long way. We want to go the shorter. We want to get there.
Oh, he survived. Holy cow. So Briggs down, Emmy Diva's down, Torb goes down again. Like I said, not a fan of Torb. Winston goes down, Nuvis goes down. Tracer picks up another, but you guys are still up. I have to remember, I'm pretty sure this fight goes your way.
I have ulti ready.
Toss your purple orb in there, get a little bit of ult. Of course, you have your ult charge already. I wouldn't bother throwing your ult, or not your ult, I'm sorry, your purple orb, especially when the team is peeking, especially since you already have your ult. You're not really going to do a whole lot of damage that's going to be meaningful. You're going to chip away, 50 damage per person or so, but it's going to get healed right back. It's just really more of a benefit for their healers. Plenty safe there. So I think that ult was definitely early on your part. Let's have a look at that again. Excuse me, I'm popping my peas there. So hold the choke. They come in. Genji goes down. I think your Genji is definitely too far ahead. Definitely good with retreating back to your point here. Doomfist Meteor strikes. Pretty much misses everything, right? Yeah, doesn't get anything meaningful out of that. Vegeta heals up your teammate. Torb's ult goes down, but of course, their Doomfist goes down. A Diva Bomb comes in, and I believe at this point, yes, you activate your ult. And I think at this point it was a little too early since there's not a lot of healing to be done, and there's really nothing for you to hit. Here too early, and this is the point, I believe now, where you probably want to have that already.
Healer out. Staying off the point.
The guys are still staying up. Ryan goes down, Diva goes down, and this is your point.
Nice. Good job. Oh, Anna on point. There we go. And overtime is over.
So it worked out, but that's definitely the...
Ooh-wee.
It worked out for you. It may have just been even for a cosmetic ult. It may have could have swung back the other way, but your teammate pulled through, so... Don't worry too much about that. Didn't really notice where I switch off from Diva.
Oh, why didn't you let Diva go? Okay, you know where to aim. You have Very, very impressive. I think you need to get it on the backboard, like up there.
I have no basketball tips.
I've only made the shot like 3 times on the first ball. Oh wow! So you know exactly where to aim. Yeah.
Don't waste your pee so early.
Clever, clever.
I know it's coming right back, but not worth it.
Nope.
So at this point, I would not want to be quite so far ahead. Your right clicks aren't... I don't think you're really reaching anything from that distance. Yeah, if you are, it's minimal. There's an awful lot of healing needs to go down on your point.
We'll get that.
The Reinhardt
Reaper
goes
going
down.
in the
You're
house.
still trading out.
Reaper's almost dead. Reaper's out.
Diva on Diva.
I'm trying to get heals to you. I got a orb on the way.
Rogue might be going.
Oh, he's in the house in the little thing on the right. On the right. He fell down. Where'd he go? No, he's in the backside. Got him. Guys, we might want to pull back out of this. You can fall down onto the point through the little house if you want. It's a quick escape.
Lucio.
So I see Reaper's becoming a problem here already for you guys.
Oh my god, I was about to kill Genji and then Moira walked right away and beat me.
It's okay, I got a health pack. No, I used ult and then I got trapped.
Lucio's outside. Coming in, top left.
Dude, I used the ult and then I got trapped.
Oh, so close.
Fuck, I almost knocked him.
That's actually bullshit, dude.
Yo, you guys, they haven't even taken it yet somehow. What the heck?
Yeah, they got it now.
Yeah, we had it for a while.
Dude, I know.
Let's try to do my...
No.
Let's play this back and see what happens here. So Ryan, of course, goes down first in this house. Is he? No, he's down. No, there he is. He gets spooked way up. Is back to the doorway. Gets taken out pretty easily by Diva.
Guys, we might want to pull back out of this. You can fall down onto the point through the little house if you want. It's a quick escape.
You did fall down, but you kind of fell down without anybody else with you. Diva and Brig weren't quite ready to go. Let's see, Brig's purpled.
Oh my god,
Lucio gets the turret.
Genji and then Moira walked right away and beat me.
It's okay, I got a health pack.
Ryan's back. YOLO charges gets slept and iced.
No, I used ult and then I got trapped.
Lucio's outside. Coming in, top left.
Is it that kid talking who just went no?
Dude, I used the ult and then I got trapped.
Oh, so close.
So you're alone on the point, get booped off.
That's actually
Reaper drops his ult.
Yo, you guys, they haven't even taken it yet somehow. What the heck?
Yeah, they got it now.
Yeah, we had it for a while.
It's okay. Regroup.
I have my ult again.
that chunk.
Is it again or is it the first time? I don't even know.
The Junkrat. But,
I killed him.
need to be
There's a
good.
trap
Wow,
As
right
those
there.
angles.
long as he's
I
like
got it.
Reaper was one. Oh, he's healed now.
Again, I think this is a situation where you're just a little too far out of pace with your team. Let's see here. What information are we really getting from this point? Anna's available in the back. Stay up with the cleanup here a little bit. Chase down the Diva. But meanwhile, you're losing 3 of your teammates again. You can't really help with the boops. The Tyre gets the Genji, but Winston, of course, is left by himself. Now, I'm not really... I need to get actual damage numbers on Reaper for how strong he is versus, you know, close range against the Winston. It wasn't quite a headshot, but then again, it was still... Reaper has such an easy time with Winston's, but Moira probably has faster heal to deal with it. At this point, there's not much you can do to help. Okay, never mind.
Oh my god, they have just enough armor to survive this.
That could have gone well. Let's see here. Now, at this point, what does your Reinhardt do? Aside from alt. He alts. She. Wait a minute.
What a fucking boop.
Oh my god.
I was thinking about using a small hue, but nah.
Hey, apparently that is decide not to.
Stupid Twitch.
Oh, you.
Okay, so she had alted right before getting shattered by your Rein. And that armor may have saved them just by a hair, but of course Reinhardt, rather than
Oh my god, they have just enough armor
swinging,
to survive
decides
this.
to YOLO boost. And you alt
Nope,
in an attempt
not
to
falling for you.
polish off the rest of them
You
and save
idiot.
your Reinhardt. I still think this is just a situation where your alt usage is a little bit off. And not a situation where to be effective. There wasn't much of a need to clean up here, especially since you were down, what was it, 2 to 4 basically?
Yeah, I know, but like I died before.
Do manage to
Diva,
kind
diva,
of
diva, focus diva.
Because I charged her and then like.
gain yourselves here. But here again, oh damn it, I'm sorry. The situation here though, you were focusing on the diva and not focusing on the target
He's
that
in the
needed to be
house.
healing, which was the, I believe it was a Roadhog.
Focus diva.
Fast forward through. Yeah. You're focusing diva here as if you're trying to damage it out. But meanwhile, your Roadhog's getting taken down by a Reaper. Your Brigade gets booped. Again, that can't be helped by you, but you're not in a situation
Yeah,
where
he's
you're
just
being
jumping and
helpful to
jumping.
your teammates. Moira heals much faster than she can do damage. Even you being on the point, it's... I, of course, do not play as much Moira as you do, and you've got a lot of wisdom, Moira, so I'm not doubting the fact that you know what you're doing with her, but I think in these interactions, you're not getting the healing down where it needs to be, and you're focusing a little too much on attacking them when you need to just be healing, sticking close to your teammates. We're going to sub off here. Okay, so who do we have? Even at this point, let's rewind back just a little bit more once again. All the way back to this Rhine hit here. So she just then drops her ult. They're at 32%. Your heart attempts to make a play.
Oh
You
my
pop
god,
your
they have
ult.
just enough armor to survive this. I can't believe it.
Percentage of points going up, and you're down
Nope,
3
not
people
falling for you. You idiot.
with your Reinhardt. There's still kind of... I wouldn't even call it a trade war. You're really just kind of scrapping with the enemy team right here. But you're not getting much value, and neither is the rest of your team, really.
Yeah, I know, but like I died before.
Let's just
Diva,
keep watching
focus
this until
diva.
you're back up.
Charged her and then like.
And here again, your road goes down.
Yeah, he's just
Brigida
jumping and jumping.
gets booped. You attempt to make some kind of stall here, but stalling at this point is useless since they already have the point anyway and just going to keep ticking up. The percentage is going to keep ticking up. And there's really nothing you can even kill. You run the last people up, and you die. So now at this point, they are now at 75%? So from 35 to 75% is what that whole interaction cost you guys. And that was with, you know, Reinhardt poorly timed ult. You reacted to that, attempted to follow up with your ult, which didn't work out for you. And then it turned into a big scrap where you guys ended up burning off a whole lot of time when you needed to just be regrouping and begin with a new push. So I think how powerful it would have been to have your ult and your Reinhardt's ult at that same time coming on back to the point, and then you'd be at like, what at that point, 45%? Your Reinhardt gets back in this fight after this goes south for you. So you guys had plenty of time to call for a regroup or get this back together. So now you're respawning, you're at 82%. It took to 83, but you were at 82 when it spawned back. So almost 50% of the point was gone just in that one life.
That's a lot of anti-healing for Alan.
So let's see what we're switching out to now. So you've got a Mei. I'm assuming it's for stalling. You've got your Genji, your Roadhog, your Reinhardt still. You're subbing out to Winston.
Nom nom nom, I'm gonna eat them up. I am now Monkey Man.
So you're definitely looking to make a big kill here and not, or at least stay alive long enough to get a kill. Of course, your one healer is already dead. Roadhog pops his ult, Genji's dead, Ryan's dead, and you're alone by yourself, and this is pretty much going to be it. What's he saying there? I'm going to play this back and turn this way up.
Yeah, that's a lot of anti-healing for Ana, so I think we should stop.
Nom nom nom, I'm gonna eat them up. I am now Monkey Man.
That sounds awful in my ears.
Save me! No!
How? How?
I walked back too far.
Okay.
It's fine. This is their map because they're playing Lucille and we're dead. They're playing
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Holy crap.
We should have switched a long time ago. I wasn't realizing how they had 3. I saw 2 and I didn't see the third one.
I don't even think switching was the biggest issue here. You took your fair share of moves from that Lucio, but there wasn't a lot of coordination to really deal with him. You have one of the easier... Now, I say this, you know, I realized that earlier, not to focus on damaging, but it comes to you, Reinhardt, Roadhog, who else did you have? Brigida, I think that's 4 people who can pretty reliably hit on a Lucio to deal with that threat. Like I said, I think the big key loser for you in this situation was that long, unnecessary scrap fight that you guys had. That burned off so much percentage. Honestly, when your Reinhardt, or when your first 3 went down, I would have either left or just jumped off into a cliff and let your Reinhardt die. I know you can't really control what your Reinhardt's doing, but you control yourself, and it'll be much better to get back with your other 4 people who are trying to respond and leave your Reinhardt here and hope that he realizes and your team realizes that, okay, we have 2 ults ready at least, and we have enough to make a good, decent push to take this point back.
Ana. She was basically counter heal and Lucio would come and just destroy me.
And the Reaper's a big problem too. You've got 2 tanks up. You also had Brigida, which is... They go toe-to-toe. But if she's not paying attention, you can absolutely roll Brigida.
I just realized we're running triple tank, y'all.
Now we are, because I just switched, so you could kill the squishies.
Sir, let me turn you down.
No, we could...
Pause.
Go goats. 3 heavy, 2 healer, 1 damage.
That's not what
3
goats is.
heavy, 2 healer, 1 damage is ridiculously strong if we play it right.
Oh, if I can go damage, I'll be happy.
I think 3 healer, 3 tanks will work fine.
Well, yeah, we got some.
3 tanks?
Yeah, no, let's do it.
Yeah.
This can destroy, man. This is my favorite, my personal favorite kind of setup. Not exactly this, but pretty much this.
So this isn't really quite a goats comp. It sort of is. So let's have a look at this one more time.
No. We could go goats. 3 heavy, 2 healer, 1 damage. 3 heavy, 2 healer, 1 damage is ridiculously strong if we play it right.
Oh, if I can go damage.
So let's see here. You also don't have the Diva in there. So you have a Winston, you have a Reinhardt, you have a Roadhog, Brigida, Lucio, and an Ana. Now, does somebody else switch? Let me watch this here.
Well, yeah, we...
So this is certainly not a goats comp here. You absolutely need a Lucio, or if you're going to try to go for this kind of thing, you want a Lucio. I mean, you get some kind of healing support with Soldier, and you do get damage, but it's not going to jive at all. Soldier does not want to be sitting with the rest of the tanks on a point, and your support's trying to do damage. He wants to have at least some kind of medium range to get some shots off and not be stuck with the tanks on the point getting hit all the time. Lucio is important in the goats comp. Now, I don't play a lot of goats comps. I try to avoid it because I just get tired of it. But your speed for getting Lucio is completely gone. you don't have him to peel your guys back, push them back and forward, or give them a nice area heal. You've got Brigitte, who's going to be healing, an area. Lucio would also be healing an area, and Anna's going to be doing some targeted healing. And on the other hand, it's much better for her utility as a healer, not so much her outright healing ability. I mean, sure, you can throw the grenade down and fire shots, but it's much better to have, especially since you don't have Lucio, I'd almost rather say better have a Moira who can dump out much more healing than an Anna can, because Moira, between her orb and her left clicks, are going to heal way more damage than an Anna can on her own.
We got some. Yeah, no. Let's do it.
Yeah.
This can destroy, man. This is my favorite, my personal favorite kind of setup. Not exactly this, but pretty much this.
Why are we going 2 shield heroes if we're going 3 tanks?
Yeah, this loss not quite
I'm
going to
not a
cut
real
it.
shield hero. I'm like pseudo. Junkrat. Oops.
Nice.
2-1.
There's a lucky pin there, I imagine. So Reaper, your biggest problem in this situation is off.
I love it.
Brigitte.
Yes, sir.
Diva out.
Diva dead.
Heals on point. Lucio! Oh, he just fucking killed me.
Got him. What I tell you?
Nice cleanup here.
What I tell you? They can't handle this. Can I get heals?
Have a
Heal
question.
me, soldier.
Wouldn't it make
Heal me, soldier. Thank you.
Wouldn't it make
Gonna wind this back one more time here to look at
What'd I
their
tell you?
comp.
They can't
I kind of
handle
lost
this.
track a bit here.
Can I-
So there's Junkrat, there's Anna, there's Reaper, there's Diva.
Junkrat. Oops.
nice?
2-1.
There's Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Yes, sir.
Diva out.
Diva dead.
It's only 5. Who am I forgetting?
Lucio! Oh, he just fucking killed me.
Got him.
Oh, there's
What I
Lucio.
tell you?
Okay. So at this point, they're almost playing more with a traditional GOATS comp than you are. Of course, they also have a DPS in there. Now, what happened here, Reinhardt got that pin on that Reaper. You guys have 3 tanks. You have a Winston, a Reinhardt, and a... was it a Roadhog?
What
Excuse
I
me, I
tell
keep
you?
forgetting.
They can't handle this. Can I get heals?
Have a
Heal
question.
me, soldier.
Wouldn't it make
Heal me, soldier. Thank you.
Or was that a May? No, you have a May now.
Wouldn't it make sense if
Anyway, Reaper, I keep finding, especially at Gold, is a really big problem for uncoordinated teams. Especially when the opponents can create a good amount of chaos on the points. Reaper can easily get in against your Reinhardt, and you
Cool.
included, since you don't have
Someone's upstairs.
you have a bubble
downstairs,
every
there's
8
Reaper.
seconds that gets burned pretty easily. Now, I
On
like
the
you
side.
inform your teammates of where he is, because he's pretty important to get rid of.
that's actually holding the shield?
Got Diva Lucio on. Help.
So he escapes, and now both of your main tanks are now completely off the point.
Brigitte 1.
Anna goes down.
He's gonna block a bit by air.
Kill their junk. But now they're getting point presence, and their Lucio's moving in.
Yeah, I can't do this alone right here. I gotta.
And you're correct, really nothing you can do in this situation. Now Reaper's now picked off 2 of your teammates.
I'm coming.
Oh my god, Ed.
Diva and Lucio just run up to me.
And here against a situation where I'd say you've already lost enough teammates to correspond a loss. You still have the point. Let's see how long this lasts. You pop your ult, giving yourself 1,000 more HP, of course. A little bit of crowd control.
There we go. Keep it
Nice
up.
move
Keep
on
it
the
up. We got
Lucio,
this.
that's
We
fun.
got this. Just keep up the good work.
Diva 1.
I'm dead, y'all. I should've gotten that mana, y'all.
Back up.
How is he healing?
Okay, so you managed to draw it out for another good 63% or so.
So
I'm
much.
sorry. You went from about 40 to about 63. So you got a decent amount of stall time there.
I'm a break that.
Back off.
So let's see what alts are available for your teammates at this point. I've definitely missed... Oh, What happened? Right, so let's pick this back up. I'll probably just edit, just cut this so it makes some more sense, barring the internet drop there. So you managed to create
There we go.
about 15% or so
Keep it up, we got this, we got
with
this.
the stall you have. This is not a bad
Keep up the good work.
situation.
Diva 1, Diva 1.
I'm dead, y'all. I should've gotten
You
that
drop your ult, May drop her ult prior
How
to
is
this.
he healing
Anna has her ult, so you have one ult ready for this
so
next
much?
fight.
I'm a break.
Back off, back off.
Just you.
Back off, back off.
It's bad, because, like, what's happening is basically they'll ignore all 3 tanks and go for the healers. That means me included.
You got nano.
Because Lucio will just boost past with Diva.
I think
What was I saying
Like,
here?
what's happening is basically they'll ignore all.
Right. So Ryan is definitely going to have his ult by the time you guys get up to the point. Soldier's close. Nano is ready. That's about all you have. Reaper, of course, used his ult. I think Diva used hers as well. So you're pretty...
That means
The ult combat now is relatively balanced, I think.
you got nano.
because Lucio will just boost past with Diva.
I think you should.
So let's watch what happens. So in the first fight, you won pretty handedly. Your Reinhardt got a big pin on the Reaper, and you guys were able to take a pretty quick control of the point and take off whoever's there. And this time around, you got pushed back on. You guys got separated. Both main tanks were off the point, and while your Regita and Anna and May and Soldier were left alone by themselves on the point, and they got chewed up.
Not on him, it's just that I
Like,
also
let's,
need some help.
but I want to get closer first. Like, once I get, like, right up to there.
Junk on the right.
Be wary that Diva's gonna run with Lucio.
So I'm not trying to save yourself there, but it's, when you're making approaches with Winston, don't try to waste your resources so quickly.
Oh, he just released his tire. God damn it.
Reaper's on me.
That's unfortunate. Oh, I didn't notice this. So at some point during that time, your your Reinhardt used his ult, and so did your Anna. And so did your Soldier? Did you use 3 ults? I'm missing these cues.
What's
Let me have a
happening
listen
is
here.
basically they'll ignore all 3 tanks and go for the healers. That means me included.
I'm going to see if I can listen and hear the order here.
You got nano.
Because Lucio will just boost past with Diva.
I think you should nano Ryan.
Now, Ryan,
I'll nano him, it's just that I
like,
also
let's,
need some help.
but I want to get closer first. Like, once I get, like, right up to there.
Junk on the right.
Be wary that Diva's gonna run with Lucio at me.
So your team is making some plots here, but I don't think you're actually hearing any of them. With you jumping here, you're not really cooperating with your Anna and your Ryan. I see, of course, the shield did go down. That is going to create some space. I think they took that as a cue to, okay, use Winston's bubble and push themselves closer to the point, and they can nano Ryan.
Oh, he just released his tire. God damn it.
Reaper's on me.
So there was the Ryan, there was the nano on your Ryan. Soldier gets a kill.
Oh, I'm slept. I'm outside of it.
What, Reaper? Junk right on the right.
Honest one, honest one, honest one.
The guy was on heels, baby.
On a solo, there we go. We got her. Lucio.
He's on the outside, on the right, on our side. He's almost dead. Damn it. Nice cap.
Yeah, I just honestly, if May could just help me
So
out.
get the caps. Okay. So it's hard to complain since that worked out for you guys in the end. But I think your cleanup phase here is probably costing you a little bit of time. I believe what the Reaper's still alive. Ricky is gonna get away.
Yeah, I was just getting a little charge. Little charge.
Just buy me a little bit of time. You only have to kill them.
Shit. Reinhardt, you took the healing for Soldier.
Diva's coming from the
We were
bottom.
aiming for that Reaper, by the
Bottom
way.
right.
The Reaper kind of counts us if we can.
Well, yeah, no. He was going for.
Anna, Diva from the bottom right.
I like the scouting. Now let's see. I can't see your cooldowns because your portrait is way, and I think actually my portrait is in the way of yours. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry,
So you did have your shield and your jump. So rather than pursuing down the bomb, your shield, of course, no matter how much HP is left, will just block. It will block the bomb and contain it, or at least keep it out of line of sight. Whoever it might actually hit. So let's run away just a second here.
He's almost dead.
Hold on
Damn
a
it.
second. So Reaper was still
Nice
up.
cap.
You're chasing Lucio.
Yeah, I just honestly make
You get the cap here, of course.
Lucio's low.
if I can just have
Get back,
me
get
help
back.
me out every time.
Yeah, I was just getting a little charge. Little charge.
Just buy me a little bit of time. You don't even have to kill them.
Now there's a nice time buyer with a Lucio going down so late. I don't know where
Diva's
Reaper
coming from the
is.
bottom.
For that Reaper, by the
Bottom
way.
right.
So this is good scouting here.
The Reaper kinda counts though.
Diva's going bottom right.
Yeah, no. He was going for.
Anna Diva from the bottom right.
Bomb goes out. Reaper appears. So does Brigida. Ice Wall comes up, but it's not really helping it. Well, that's a critique for May. But anyway, I think in this situation, rather than pursuing down the bomb and attempting to make shield break, you jumped, found cover, now you're dropping your shield, which is not going to do anything against Brigida. Soldiers goes down, you guys are separated.
Fucking god, I hate this Lucio.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
And these are situations I feel like once again you've got the firepower between Winston and May. Even Soldier, if he's decent enough, can get a good shot off on a Lucio.
We got this though. It's not over yet.
I think this point might be. Yeah, this point's over.
I might have to go.
It was a 1v5. That
This
took
is-
that long to kill me.
Okay, regroup. We maybe got one more, two more, maybe. I'd say about one more, guys. One more.
I think he's right there with one more, especially with your Soldier going down. You have to wait another however many percentages it is until he gets a respawn in.
You should nano Winston when he ults.
I got 9% left. I'm almost there.
I'll try it, but like I
Reaper on the right. On the right.
Right side jump tire.
Wow.
Reaper goes down. Reaper appears on the right, but it's not followed through with.
Wow. I hate everyone.
That's gonna stall you, of course.
Wait. You're...
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Oh my god. You went in way too far.
We could possibly go on in this. Possible nano on brick. I'd say nano on brick here is like only option.
You have to do it, dude.
Now, I don't want to echo your team's complaints too much, but I definitely feel like in this situation, you're. Let's see here.
About one more, guys. One more good push.
You're down two people at this point. You're down Brigida and Soldier.
You should nano Winston when he ults.
I got 9% left. I'm almost there.
I'll try it, but
Now, at this point, where's your Soldier and where's your Ana? I mean, they may have actually respawned by this point, but they're definitely not where you are, and your team does not know where you are either.
Reaper on the right. On the right.
You get in front of them here, but you're still pushing 4 on 6.
Right side jump tire.
Wow. I
You
hate
get stunned
everyone.
out and blown up.
wait.
So you got 2 ults
I'm
ready.
dead, I'm
I think
dead.
did Soldier just pop his ult? Well, you were in the tab menu. I think he did.
I'll try it, but like I
Reaper on the right. On the right.
And this is a hairy situation. I think it would be good to isolate the Reaper, but at the same time, you're also doing the fact that if a tire, it's going to come and blow up a whole group of people. It goes for you.
Wow. I hate everyone.
Possible nano.
wait.
You're dead. Your Soldier dropped his ult.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Oh my god. You went in way too far.
We could possibly go on.
I bet you guys didn't even hear it.
Nano on brick. I'd say nano on brick here is like only option.
You have to do it, dude.
Back up.
Call back.
Reset.
We have seconds here.
Huge kills. Go in. Nano brick. Nano, yeah, you need
I'm in.
Monkey's practically invincible. Monkey just distract him. Like, jump around, distract him.
Reaper is destroying us.
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I keep pushing E and like nothing happens.
Let's have a look at this actually.
Big shatter.
I got 3, but no one's hit.
And that's going to be your last fight. So let's replay this last fight here.
Wait. You're
I'm dead. I'm dead.
I don't know what your soldier... I don't think he got anything at all.
I'm dead.
Oh my god. You went in way too far.
So Brigade drops her armor early, so at least that's off the table, but they're going to have some residual armor going into this last fight.
Possible nano on brick. That's it. Nano on brick here is like only option.
Ryan's down. So this...
You have to do it, dude.
What happens here is definitely the right call. Your May wall's off this entrance here. They can't see you, you can't see them. Your Brigade... excuse me.
Call back.
Reset.
Your Brigade calls
We have
herself
seconds
back.
here.
Huge kill.
She gets her ult off. Your Ryan is back. And you're actually looking up a bit of an advantage here now that the enemy Junkrat is out. Can I play this any slower? I'm going to attempt this, but it's in 720, so the resolution isn't amazing, but let's see how this goes here. So you jump in, you get nanoed, and you ult almost immediately. You drop a shield, and then you ult. Now it seems to me your target focus here is this D.Va. Now, with the one pick is nice. You're definitely going to have, you know, at least one of your DPS threats is down. But when Winston starts ulting, I need to figure out the actual numbers here, but I know it's his damage while he's ulting is definitely not enough to ice out a D.Va, you know, damage-wise or even booping-wise, because you can hit D.Va a few times, you can smack her around, but she's just going to boost back to where she wants to be anyway. Even with your nav, you're going to have a hard time dealing enough lethal damage to anybody if they're not already a squishy target on low health, but currently nobody's on low health. And of course, at this point during the fight, your Reaper picks off your soldiers, so now you're back 5 on 5. May gets a kill. Anna's healing goes down, saves the Reaper. Reaper also boosts, or I'm sorry, what's it called? Wraith Form. Your Wraith Form is away. No damage to be done here. You mentioned you were pressing E, but I don't know if you even remember, but you've of course used your shield at this point, and either, I need to get the exact timing on this because I can't see the cooldown timer in your window, but I think the simple answer here is that your E is not even ready for this.
And like nothing happened.
And they drop 2 ults and they clutch out enough kills to make this fight go their way, even after your pick. 4 kills, actually. And that's really going to be that. And it's clean enough team kill for a few clutch ults. So, what do we think this through here? They have a Brigida, they have a Reaper, they had a Junkrat, he's dead in this situation, but they also have a D.Va, and they have an Anna, and they have, does that cover it all? Lucio, they have a Lucio. So moving in on this, you've got the numbers here. And the only combination you have at this point, since Soldier has already dropped his ult, there's only you and there's Anna. And you get nanoed, of course, right off the bat here as you go in. So when you drop your ult, let's see if I can find that here. Let's place it a little bit faster. This one is slow.
Wait.
I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead.
Let's do 75.
I'd say Nano on break here is like only option.
You have to do it, dude.
Back up.
Call back.
Reset.
And I'm not sure when your soldier actually gets
We
this
have-
kill, but the one pick, of course, in this situation does not turn out to be enough. You've got a lot of healing, you have a lot of movement, and you still have Reaper on his own, who's a very clutch, damage dealer who can
Seconds
deal with the
here.
2 tanks you have. Plus your Mei, she's much, people are saying so, but she's like still one of the wider DPS threats, and she's a little bit easier to hit than some of your slimmer ones. No. I'll just leave the last part. Anyway, so Reaper's still up. They have Brigitte drops her ult, and once again, so they have plenty of armor, and you go into your ult almost immediately after getting nanoed. Now my issue with this, maybe not my issue with this here. Well, no, my issue with this here is that it's hard to communicate this quickly on at least the point where all this action is going down, but no one seems to have a clear target in mind. Like, you made a pick, you've got to pick on the Junkrat, but no one has decided what they need to do for the rest of this situation other than get kills. And your easiest targets are going to be probably either Ana or Reaper, if you can find the Reaper, or the Ana. What happens here, you go in, you kind of hit the Brigitte, then you really go hot and heavy on this D.Va here. Your shield goes down almost immediately, which you don't have when the time comes when you need to have the ult. And all this mess is going on, your soldier goes down, now you're down a DPS threat. Main combinations does get a kill, but it's definitely not enough to stop you from this from happening. So, what could have been done better in this situation? I definitely would have waited at least a little bit longer for you to use your ult. Dive tanks ults are kind of like second lives. With Winston and D.Va, when D.Va presses Q, she loses her mech and she gets another one. When Winston presses Q, he gets 1,000 health and even a second jump to go along with the situation. You, of course, did it immediately, therefore you're kind of getting rid of your second chance card here. You're kind of throwing away your second life almost immediately. And you kind of did it without a clear target in mind. I get the idea of maybe trying to scare the D.Va away from the point, but D.Vas, once again, have the ability to boost back to where they were, especially if she hasn't used that cooldown yet. And she, of course, had her second life available as well, which ended up costing you guys 2 lives.
I keep pushing E, and
Your cooldown was out of there, so you couldn't... I'm sorry, of course this is a replay, because your cooldown was out of there. There's nothing you could have really done to save yourself, but I don't think it would have saved the Ana anyway.
like nothing happens.
Big shatter.
I got 3, but no one's there.
Never mind.
Nice job.
But the thing is, they will just run behind us the whole time. We need to watch our back. And then they'll just destroy our whole back line. And then we're like, oh.
It's annoying to hear, but in general, I feel like your team was definitely lacking the coordination you need to deal with some of your biggest threats here. Reaper, like I said, is definitely a problem for uncoordinated teams, especially... I'm not insulting gold because I'm in gold too, so it's not like I'm saying that I figured this out because I haven't. But Reaper is, at least in my opinion, one of the worst threats that you have at this rank for an uncoordinated team. Excuse me. So in this last fight, once again, you have a 6-on-5, but there's not really a lot of focus on who you go for. Diva's out of there. Or, I'm sorry, Diva's not out of there. You go after Diva, but it's not really quite enough because there's not really a focus on who you're dealing with, and there's not a lot of team grouping going on. And I don't think you're really creating the space that you need to create when you're playing as a Winston to, create a situation for your teammates to actually get the jump on the enemy team and deal with them. I think you got a little way too far ahead. I also noticed your Reinhardt also got pretty far ahead, almost towards the end of the point here. Let me see if we can find that again. There goes Reaper. Oh yeah, I saw him there. Just for a frame.
I'd say Nano on break here is like only option.
You have to do it, dude.
Back up, back up.
Fall back, fall back, fall back.
We have
I think your win condition here was still pretty unclear going in. It's easy to think that since we got a pick, that this fight's going our way, but you still have to deal with point. You still have to deal with point presence here. You have to deal with all the health that's available, and you have to deal with one very dangerous DPS threat, which in the first fight, of course, your Reinhardt dealt with. They pit him and crushed a Reaper and killed him, so he's out. So it's not really much of an issue, but he was not addressed for the rest of the fight.
Dude's killed.
I'm sorry if this isn't, if I'm not being very succinct here.
Go in. Nano burst.
I'm in.
Monkey's practically invincible.
Slap, slap.
Goes as fast as hard to see, but okay, yeah. So your Reinhardt was definitely pushing past where your team was. So once again, your tanks are not in a position to save. It's gonna be way too hard to pause at just the right time. But your Reinhardt is way over here. I mean, his shielding is out of place. Your shielding's gone. There's nothing saving what's left of your team here from this bomb that's about to go off here. It gets you. It gets the Ana. I'm not sure where Ana is in this situation.
I keep pushing E and nothing happens.
Brig goes down. Mei goes down. Reinhardt's left completely by himself.
Got 3, but
The Diva deals with him. That's just cleanup. And that's that. So, I think the biggest issues here are probably a little bit of ult usage when you're playing as Moira, and a little bit from your Winston too. I think the other part of the issue here is you had two main tanks on your field here. You had a Reinhardt and you had a Winston. They're both main tanks. And really you didn't have anybody to have. Now you can have one or the other try to kind of enforce their space. But when both the Reinhardt and the Winston are pursuing down a single DPS target that can shoot them out their cooldowns, that's a big problem. So yeah, the points I want to make, I think finally this video is, okay, so 3 points. So alt timing. I think alt timing needs work with that Moira and with that Winston. Taking positions, both main tanks were out of place, including you and the Reinhardt typically were out of place and not where you needed to be when your teammates needed you. And 3, I'd say, was win conditions. You definitely, in the second point on Nepal, you burned out about 50% of your time, or 50% of the capture time, just trading out and not really considering what it takes to not only win this game, but to deal with that current situation, how you're going to get ahead, and how you're going to actually beat this heavy team and recap that point. You spent 50% of the capture time just scrapping. It didn't do you any good. And at the end, it wasn't enough for you or your team to make a reasonable comeback. And the last point, of course, on the third point, you won the first point, but you also dealt with the most dangerous DPS threat right off the bat. That, of course, was a big win for you guys, and it wasn't really dealt with the proper way the rest of the time. You tried to kill him the second time around, but it wasn't enough between you and the Reinhardt to deal with that Reaper. It distracted you. Your teammates got rolled. You lost the point. You kind of retook for a little bit. But when it came time to retake again, the coordination and timing just wasn't really there. And so the win condition on the final point, you had a big advantage going in. And I think think you and everyone kind of responded to that timing, excuse me, to that situation and thought that this is ours. Let's just go in there and autopilot and clean up. I don't think a lot of attention was played to just good team fundamentals. You know, tanks make the space, DPS's follow up, supports make the healing. I don't think that happened. I think it's what the critical failure on that last push was. You did not quite have, and you know, I think I kind of nitpicked on your alt users there a little bit, but if you had used the ult earlier, it wasn't in the right position to make it effective for your team. You're assaulting their diva in their backline and not dealing with any of the threats that are directly addressing your team currently. Like, there was nothing to do with the Brigida, there was nothing to do with the Reaper. Who was their other tank? Oh, the guy you even really saw. Oh, so they had one tank anyway. I mean, they had Brig as the off-tank off-healer, but, you know, they had one tank. They had plenty of damage and utility to deal with you guys, but, like I said, I think I'm just repeating myself, so I'm not going to repeat that again about the Reaper. Anyway, summarize this. Name the points that I want you to at least focus on. Otherwise, I mean, like I said, I saw your last two streams, or you know, most of them anyway. I mean, your climb has been really good, and I don't doubt at all you're a good player. I like your shot calling. I like your flexibility. You know, I like Ammo who's kind of figured out the support slot well, because I certainly haven't. But I like your ability to tank and flex when need be. And your relative game knowledge and your communication has been, I think, is a really big asset for you. So I don't have any criticisms about that. Otherwise, great job on your climb so far. Like I said, this is kind of like the one blemish on that whole climb. Otherwise, I think you've been doing very well. Anyway, that's it. So thanks again, Mr. Wisher. Let me use your footage. If there's any other clips you'd like me to have a look at in the future, just please shoot me a message and I'll happily do that for you. Thanks y'all for watching. Bye.